We live again. Once again. Yo, what's up, people? What's up? Good morning. Ah, a brand new day. 16th of February. Sun is shining. Ah. So, yeah, a very warm welcome to all of you guys. Good morning. Same place, same calm, same conversations. Hey, what's up? What's up? Milan. आज फ्री है यार थोड़ा सा आज ऑफिस का काम कम है यार सो ऑलरेडी काफी सारी सेलें भी हो गई हैं इस मंथ तो लिटिल बिट रिलैक्स सो आई थॉट आई विल कम ऑन लाइव स्ट्रीम अर्ली मॉर्निंग क्या हाल है तेरे कैसा है हाउस वर्क तू अभी भी पुणे में है या तू घर आ गया वापस वेरी नाइस buddy वेरी नाइस कैसे चल रहा है तेरा न्यू जॉब हाउ आर थिंग्स काम तो सर है कि ना एकदम हाई प्रेशर वर्किंग करंटली ऑन 4 प्रोजेक्ट्स इन मुंबई फैंटास्टिक है दैट्स अ गुड थिंग तू कह रहा है हाई प्रेशर एनवायरनमेंट है या हाई प्रेशर एनवायरनमेंट नहीं है व्हाट्स द सीन अच्छा बाय द वे अगर तू आई थिंक यू कमिंग ऑन टू माय लाइव स्ट्रीम फॉर द वेरी फर्स्ट टाइम राइट सो we will be making some real conversations, right? And we will be writing down names, right, in this format. High pressure environment है वो तो होता ही है ना देखो देखो पता ही है कॉर्पोरेट है so high pressure environment तो होता ही है थोड़ा सा कैंडल में ही we were relaxed a little bit, right? But high pressure environment तो तूने कैंडल में भी देखा ही है when you were leading the finance team, right? टीम क्या थी मतलब तू अकेला ही पूरी टीम थी right so now जब से mind ने take over करा है तब से तो things have streamlined a little bit because there are multiple people working right so we got Ajay we got Urvashi then couple of people from the back end as well like Shobit and all these people so ये सभी लोग हैं यार I'm managing financial operations for 11 clients wow fantastic good for you man good for you that's some accomplishment I must say तो तू काम नहीं कर रहा है how come you're on the live stream dude काम शाम कर ले जाके तेरे 11 क्लाइंट ढूंढ रहे होंगे देखो और घर पे सब ठीक है how are mom and dad how's your sister I've already punched in at 9 a.m. Fantastic. So you're working from office only, right? I think. तो ऑफिस में बैठ के काम कर रहा ना? Hey, Soccer Legend. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining. I'm seeing you on my live stream after a couple of days, right? You got grounded. That's all right. That's okay. It's bound to happen when you're this naughty, right? So that's okay. But I'm glad you are here. So thank you so much for joining. So anybody and everybody who's joining us live for the very first time, my name is Gagan. I stay in Delhi NCR, Faridabad to be precise. And it's a beautiful Monday morning, 16th of February here in India. Sun is shining, right? So let's kickstart with this same agenda, right? So it's the same place, same plan, same people, right? And we're going to be talking about slow progression today. because I think that is something all of us overlook to a lot of extent. Uh, Milan, what are you saying? But this week I'm working from home from my PG in Mumbai because team members have went for an office trip at Phuket. I was not eligible for Phuket. Why were you not eligible for Phuket यार? Phuket में तो Indians के लिए entry free है मेरे भाई. हिंदुस्तानी को तो वैसे नहीं रोकता वहाँ कोई. Why were you not eligible? Do you not have a passport? Is that what the scene is? But I've been to Phuket multiple times, right? Phuket is a beautiful city, right? So we used to cross country between Bangkok, Phuket, Koh Samui, right? And for people who don't know this, it's Thailand. Phuket is in Thailand. I haven't been in the company for at least 9 months. Okay, okay, that's understandable. Think if not this trip, probably next trip, next time around, you will get an opportunity to travel with your team, right? So all the best for that. I So yeah, take a deep breath. This is a relaxed space, right? And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be switching to my notepad, and we will start writing names for everybody in who joins us, right? So stay back, feel free, relax, take your time. I'll be here live for another 90 minutes, so no rush, right, per se. But I'm going to be switching my screen so that you can start commenting your names as well, and we will start with this conversation on slow progression. So slow progression, yeah. So what I want to talk about today is that many of us, most of us, we generally miss out on this. We misunderstand the concept of progression, right? Which is growth, right? And most people think slow means failure, right? Per se, right? And we are. I'm personally guilty of thinking like that. That if I'm slow, I must be failing at things, right? But if you're slow, that's actually a good sign, right? Because all of you guys must realize something, right? So even if you're moving inches, right, you're still making some sort of a progress, right? By the way, if you're new here, this is a space to think clearly and build slowly, right? So no hype, no fake motivation. Uh, I would say just long-term thinking, right? So, uh, hey Tosif, a big shout out to Tosif as well for joining us. Thank you so much. Milan is saying, yes, I'll be going for a workstation, vacation, domestic trip, and an international trip next year. Yeah, all the best for that, buddy. I'm pretty sure you will. So stick around. So I was saying, and uh, let me be completely honest with you guys, right? So what happens massively is people generally think that if you're moving slow, you must be failing, right? Slow does not mean failure, right? Fast progress feels exciting. I can understand that, right? To a lot of extent, to everybody, right? If you're getting things done quickly and you achieving results rather quickly, that is a motivation level altogether on a different scale. But slow progress is also progress. Slow might feel a little uncomfortable, right? Uh, and naturally, as human beings, if we are moving very slow, we feel something might be wrong, right? But slow progression usually means something important is either under development, in progress, right? Or slow progression would mean that you are on the right trajectory of achieving something which might be important. So it means you're building something real, right? And real things generally in life take time. I'm going to let that thought sink in for a bit. For anybody who's joining us live, my name is Gagan. Thank you so much for taking our time and joining me. uh, Please stick around, stay for a bit, enjoy the music, listen to the conversation that we are making, because this generally takes time to sink in, right? And don't forget to comment your names in the chat box, right? We'll have all these names written down right here. So yes, so if you in life, if you plant a seed, right, and it happens to grow overnight, which generally never happens, right? It will never happen in true nature, right? So if you plant a seed and it grows overnight, that's not strength. That's instantability, right? And the strongest of trees grow generally slowly, right? The strongest of habits form very slowly, right? The strongest of I would say businesses, if I talk about, right, strongest of businesses, they also grow slowly, right? The if you talk about Facebook, if you talk about Amazon, right, Tesla, all of these companies have taken a lot of time over the years building, right? The progression has been slow, right? Nothing got built instantly. Like there's a saying, Rome was not built in a day, right? uh, a big shout out to AZX Games YT, right? Azan, thank you so much for joining. Let's have Azan's name written down. So I was saying that strongest of things are generally time taking, right? The progression is very slow, right? Your mind also develops slowly. It does not develop instantly, right? If you want a strong mind, if you want uh, to be able to naturally control your reactions, right, you need to have a very strong mind, and strong takes time, right? It takes a lot of time. uh, a very big shout out to Asmat Khan as well. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, Shaima. Uh, so if you're new here, stick around for a bit, right? We are writing down names, making real conversations. This is me being real. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm not a guru. I like making honest conversations. So, uh, how do you advise someone to always stick to the process even when things are not working? So, Milan, that's a very good question, I must say. And coming from you, and I've known you for about 4 years of my life, right? I completely understand what you might be thinking, right? But my advice is perseverance, persistence, right? If you just keep switching, if you keep giving up on your tasks or your goals or something, right, it will never reap the right kind of results, right? For results to show up, you need to be consistent, right? So always remember two things, or rather I would say three things, right? First needs to be your focus, right? Second needs to be your consistency, and the third most important of it all is discipline, right? So follow these three things. Be focused in life on the things that you want, right? Be consistent on the path that you have chosen, right? Continue working, continue delivering. And for all of this to work, the focus and the consistency to work, you need the strongest pillar, which is your discipline. So stick to these three. You'll go a long way, my friend. I can see Himanshu in the house as well. Hey, Himanshu, good morning. How are you? Thank you so much for joining in. So we're having real conversations this morning, and I was talking about slow progression because slow generally means failure to many of us, right? And we don't celebrate slow anymore. We celebrate speed, right? Speed generally is seductive, right? And that's one of the reasons why many of us generally end up wanting quick results, and that does not work out the way we want. So just think about it. Most people don't quit because nothing is happening, right? They generally, to me, they quit because something is happening, and it's happening so slow that you can't realize, right? So if you don't see results happening, you will generally feel that you're failing. Probably you're not progressing enough, right? And there's a difference in this, right? And you need to be constantly working towards achieving what you want, right? And even if you're going on slow, right, you're still progressing. There's still some sort of attraction, there's still some sort of a movement, right? So yeah. So anybody who's joining us right now, I'm live from Delhi NCR. My name is Gakan, and it's a beautiful Monday morning. I had some time early morning, so I'm just here chatting with all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining. And stick around for a bit, right? Because this type of a conversation would take some time to sink in, right? And I would like to deep dive into slow progression today and speak to all of you guys. And I would like to explore something with all of you, right? When progression is slow, right? What happens mentally is you start doubting yourself, right? That's the first thing that happens, right? You start doubting, you start comparing yourself, you start wondering if the path that you've chosen is right for you or not, right? Whether you took the right decision, whether you took the right step, right? And that generally can be a little troublesome, worrisome, right? And if you really ask me, and what is the correct path, right? What is the right pace? What is normal, right? I would say most growth is invisible in the beginning, right? If you're starting up something, if you're starting a business, if you're starting some new sort of course, or if you're starting some training like physical training or gym or something, so progression is slow, right? I can see Sarthak. Hey Sarthak, thank you so much for joining. uh, so progression is generally very slow. You do not see traction, you do not see uh, any kind of a movement. So your brain generally goes into your mentality generally goes into failure mode, right? You start feeling that nothing is working out for you, and that's because growth is pretty much invisible, especially during the beginnings, right? You have to understand that. Let me take a quick example, right? Imagine you start exercising, you join a gym, you pay the membership, and you start working out for the first couple of weeks. I would say you will see no change, right? Besides the fact that you might start feeling a little more healthier, little your breath is your breathing is better, your lungs have expanded a little bit. So yes, that freshness, that feeling starts coming in, right? But physically you are not developing muscles, you're not growing like a bodybuilder who has been exercising for the past 5 or 10 odd years, right? And you start imagining that if I'm not growing, I might be failing. Yes, darling. Okay, I'll give you. So it's the same, right? So even if it's gym, right? You're invisible, right? If you start, like for example, a business, in the beginning it's pretty much invisible. If you start a YouTube channel, your YouTube growth is pretty much invisible at first. If you're trying to develop a skill, that is also invisible in the beginning, right? So you don't see any sort of attraction, you don't see any sort of a growth. If you're trying to build trust, right, that's invisible at first as well. And because it is invisible, we assume it's not working, right? And invisibility is in itself is not a failure, it's incubation, right? And that's a powerful word, huh? Incubation. By the way, if you're just joining in, we are talking about what slow progression might actually be a positive signal, right? So stick around. And my younger daughter is right here with me. You want to say hi? Say hi. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Very good. That's my younger one. She's 2 years old. Her name's Angelica, and she has come to me asking for dudu. Dudu in English would be milk. So you guys take some time, think about incubation, think about slow progression, and enjoy the music in the background while I fetch her a glass of milk. Right. So you'll have to bear with me. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. So yeah, come down. So yeah, I'm back. So I can see a new name, Anaf. A big shout out to Sarthak and Anaf for joining us. Thank you so much. So we were talking about slow progression, right? And if you're just joining in, stick around for a bit. This conversation is just getting started. So if you're not late, you're right on time. Don't forget to hit the like button, right? It will just help share this live stream, recommend this live stream to more and more people. And we are talking about slow progression this morning, right? So let me give you an example, right? So what happens is, imagine pushing a heavy flywheel, right? And the first feel will definitely feel pointless, right? There's no movement at all, right? Pretty much, right? The second push is still a little heavy, right? uh, as you keep on pushing, right, the third push or the fourth push will slowly, slightly start getting easier once you gain momentum. So but if you stop after a couple of pushes, right, you will never gain that momentum. You will never feel that momentum ever being there, right? So most people generally stop, right, after a couple of pushes, right? And that's when they start saying that this is not working, that I'm stuck, it's not growing, it's not helping, right? No, it didn't work yet, but if you would have given it a little more time, if you would have pushed a little bit more, right, it would eventually start working in your favor, right? That's slow progression, right? So there's a big difference, right? Slow progress means friction. At the beginning, you will definitely feel the friction, right? You will feel some sort of a resistance coming through, right? But if you continue on that path, if you keep pushing, if you keep your focus, if you keep your consistency, right, like I was explaining to Milan as well a little while ago, right, if you keep moving forward no matter how slowly, you will continue to achieve and gain momentum, right? By the way, a very big shout out to Pamu and Shambhavi as well. Thank you guys for joining. So we are discussing slow progression today, right? So and when we start feeling any sort of friction or resistance, we generally tend to back off slightly, right? That's human nature, that's mentality, right? And you start feeling that it's not working, maybe you're failing, maybe you're not moving in the right direction as fast as possible, and you generally give up in your mind first, and eventually you give up in your soul, right? So but to be really honest, if there is no resistance, then you're not moving towards anything important, right? Important things will be hard, right? They will require some sort of sacrifice, some sort of a hardship, right? So if it's too easy, then I don't feel it's worth or worthy enough, or it might not be as important, right? So you have to understand. So I'm gonna let that sink in for a bit. uh, but you gotta understand something, that if things were too easy, right, then everybody would be able to do it, and everybody would become successful. Being successful is important, right? That's why it is hard, right? It takes its own time, it takes its own struggle, right? Perseverance. By the way, if you just joined in, my name is Gagan. I'm live with you from Delhi NCR. It's 10:30 in the morning. I'll be here for a while, so stick around. If you like calm streams, if you like listening to me, don't forget to hit the like button. uh, so we are unpacking our thoughts on slow progression, and this is where things get a little interesting, right? uh, because when you're when you start something in life, right, you generally tend to refine things. You need to constantly keep on trying new things, new ways. You fail multiple times before you actually achieve anything meaningful, right? And you're refining, you're learning, you're making mistakes, you're correcting those mistakes, and all of this happens very quietly, right? And that's one of the reasons why uh, slow progression might feel like a failure, right? Because fast growth often breaks, right? But slow growth stabilizes over time. It takes its own time uh, to show you some sort of a real impact, right? And something like that is something that you need to understand, that every one of these things uh, will show you in a way, right, over time, the real growth, right? You would have learned, you would have improved, your skills would have improved, your mindset would be better, right? You would understand things, the natural things, and all of this happens, right? And sometimes th- there's there's something which is dangerous in success, right? If you achieving success very fast, it's because instead of building skills, you are building your ego, right? If you achieve success too fast, right, you 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 build attention before structure, right? You build more noise before any sort of a foundation, right? And all of this just collapses when a storm comes, when the time gets tough, right? Because you never build the skill, because you never got the real foundation, because you never had the right kind of uh, uh, correction methodology achieved, right? If something goes wrong, right, if you you fail, everything comes down, right, to the ground, right? So slow builders don't fail as quickly. So if you're building something slow, it would not collapse so easily, right? Because you will have built the skill, you would have built the foundation towards it, right? And because they have already survived quiet seasons, quiet storms, so even if a big failure or a fuck up happens, or a storm comes, you will not feel uh, like a failure, right? And let me say something important, right? So the people who look lucky now, and there might be plenty of people in your network as well, in around you, that you feel that these people are super lucky. Whatever they want, they get rather quickly. Fancy cars, big houses, good job, and things like that. Uh, so there must be people around you as well who look lucky, right? But you need to understand, you might feel that's overnight success for these guys, but it's not overnight success. You have overlooked the fact that there has been a a lot of hardship, probably months or years of hardship that has gone behind the scenes, right? But you guys, what you notice is somebody got successful overnight. It's not happening overnight. It has taken months and years of hardship, right? And years have been slow, right? Nothing happens in a day, right? You don't achieve that. But you only see the spike. You only see overnight success, right? And you feel somebody is very lucky, right? It's not there, right? We never see the silence that has been working in the background, right? People generally uh, do not share early struggles too much, right? And that's one of the reasons why you don't see then the complete story. But silence is where strength is built, right? So keep on working silently, keep your head down, right? If you get a good job, keep your head down. If you have a lot of work, keep your head down. If you're making a lot of money, keep your head down. If your business is growing, keep your head down, right? And keep moving forward, right? So don't let your ego shatter your skills. Don't let a storm that comes every now and then, right, shatter the foundation that you've built, right? So that's what it is. Hey Ronnie, how are you? Yo bro, कर दिया मेरे भाई, चालू कर दिया यार, अब क्या करें? Aditya Tiwari, a big shout out to you. Thank you so much for taking our time and joining. My name is Gagan. I'm live with all of you guys from Delhi NCR. It's a beautiful Monday morning, 16th of February. And this is a quite relaxed stream that we are doing. So stick around for a while. Don't forget to hit the like button, by the way. Adeline, is that the name you want me to write? You were supposed to comment your name, but I'll write this. A big shout out to Adeline, Aditya Tiwari, a big shout out to Wana as well. Thank you guys for joining in. Have a wonderful day ahead. Right? Feel free to stick around for as long as you want. Feel free to scroll. But over here, we are making conversations, real conversations around slow progression, right? And I want to say this to all of you guys. Instead of asking why is this so slow, why am I not seeing any sort of attraction, why am I not seeing any sort of a growth, what you should be asking yourself is, what am I building that requires time, right? Slow progress usually means you're developing patience, right? You're developing resilience, you're developing a lot many skills, right? And slow progression is basically around developing emotional control as well, right? So things cannot be rushed. You can't rush towards building a business. You can't rush towards, yes, you need to be constantly innovating and working and achieving your milestones, but you can't achieve $100 million company in day one, right? It takes time to build that company from ground up, right? And you can't rush things, right? So slow progression, right? If someone offers you overnight success, right, it would not mean so much to you, and it will not stick with you. That's why if you look at this real life scenario, uh, people who win money via lottery, right, by buying lottery tickets and all of that, they win a couple of 100,000 or $1 million or something, right? No, yet this is my journal state. I am not tired. I'm quite uh, energetic at the moment. It's morning time for me here, right? So I might look tired, but I ain't tired, right? So I'm making calm, relaxed conversations, right? So this is uh, again around slow progression, right? So everything takes time. So I'm just relaxed, sitting back, right, and talking to all of you guys this morning. And today's topic of discussion is around slow progress, and why slow progress to many of us would feel like a failure, right? A big shout out to Naksh, Jyoti. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna say this out loud once again to all of you guys. So slow does not mean broken. Slow does not mean failure. Slow does not mean wrong. Slow does not mean that you quit, right? Moving slow in the right direction, right, or course correcting yourself while moving towards the right direction. Slow just means that you have to stay. You just have to be consistent, right? Keep moving, right? By the way, if you just joined in, we are talking about slow progression, and this might be the strongest sign you're building something meaningful, right? So stick around for a bit. I'll be live for another 30 minutes odd. And for people who are just joining in, Manu, a big shout out to you. Harshit, right? Thank you so much for taking our time. We're gonna go a little more deeper into all of this topic, right? So because I think I've got about 30 more minutes and a couple of more things to discuss around slow progress. So now that we have covered the importance of foundation building, skill building, let's talk about something different. Let's talk about identity, right? And when progress is slow, right? Generally, what happens is your identity in a way is getting tested a lot, right? As a person, as a human being, right? You're getting tested. If things are moving very slowly, your patience, your perseverance, your focus, your discipline, everything gets tested, right? So you in a whole are being tested, and at that point of time you start asking questions to yourself: am I even capable? Am I cut out to do this, right? Is this for me? Am I doing the right thing, right? Or am I just wasting my time, right? And all of these questions, your they basically tend to move you away from your goal. But identity should not depend on speed. Identity should not depend upon uh, quick success, right? It should depend upon commitment, right? Because if you're not committed towards achieving something, no matter if even if you go fast or slow, you will never achieve that, right? So the difference between average and exceptional isn't speed. It's basically endurance, right? You need to have that capability and the courage to endure the both the good and bad, right? Because endurance is quiet, right? Endurance is boring, right? But endurance will certainly help you win in the long run, right? That's what slow progression builds, right? It also builds your endurance levels, right? And endurance also teaches you discipline, a lot about discipline. And you should be working towards your goals without expecting any sort of a early reward, right? Or an applause, right? Because slow progress, foundation building, skill building, endurance, all of this will eventually teach you confidence, right? And the best kind of confidence is the confidence which requires no validation, right? You do not need other people to validate your plans. You do not need people to validate your success, right? Or your growth, right? Or your progression, right? Whether you're going too slow or you're going too fast, right? You don't need that. You don't need people's judgment, right? Because all of this will teach you stability without numbers. They will and these could be a dangerous trait, but in a good way. Because if someone can survive slow, right, without quitting, right, then no matter how big a storm they face, right, in the future, they will always come out stronger, right? And that's what happens with majority of us, that when we come across a storm, we generally tend to give up. And that is something that you need to be very careful about, because you need to remember what your goal was. Where do you want it to be? Where did you want it to go, right? So always keep your end goal in mind. Why did you start in the first place, right? And that will just help you stick to the path that you have chosen. Let me try to give you a rule so that you can maintain sanity, right, at the same time, right? While seeing no real progress, right? If you haven't done something that is consistent for, let's say, 90 days, 3 months, right? You don't judge yourself on it, and you don't allow other people to judge you on that, right? Because most people generally quit within 30 days of starting something, right? Very few people reach the end of 90 days, right? And almost nobody reaches the complete 365 days. So you need to be consistent for a bare minimum of 90 days. Try doing something for 90 days. Try working out for 90 days. Try going to that class for 90 days. Try being consistent on your profession or on your business or in your studies for at least a minimum of 90 days, right? Because consistency is very rare, right? Not because it's hard, but because it's slow. It takes time, right? And when things are slow, people generally give up, right? Most people don't need fast progress, they need deeper patience, right? Because when they are slow, they might feel it's some sort of a failure. Something is not working out, something is wrong. But slow is not punishment. Slow is preparation, right? So yeah, you need to be cognizant of that. If you're live here or watching replay, remember this: fast impressions, slow builds, and same things happen over a period of time, right? And you need to be constantly moving forward. So keep doing what you're doing. If you've set your goals, if you set your mind to something, keep striving towards achieving what you decided to achieve, because it will take some time, but you will eventually get there. And join me for another live session. I'll be live soon once again. Till then, you take very good care of yourself and have a wonderful day ahead. If you like today's stream, don't forget to hit the like button, right? Have a wonderful day to yourself. I'll see you sometime soon. Take care. Bye bye.